Imagine waking up one morning to find that every dollar bill in your wallet is now useless, not because the economy collapsed or because of a war, but because someone decided that cash, as you know it, is no longer acceptable. You try to buy groceries, pay for gas, or hand your kid a few bucks for school, and you're met with blank stares or polite refusals. Your money, the physical symbol of your labor and freedom, has simply vanished. Not physically, but functionally. It no longer works. Welcome to the new reality, a reality being quietly constructed while the world scrolls through memes and doom feeds. They're not announcing it with trumpets, but they're killing cash, and they're doing it to control you. Governments and global financial institutions have been orchestrating the slow death of cash for years. They frame it as progress, convenience, innovation, safety. Who wouldn't want a world where you never lose a wallet or worry about carrying exact change? But underneath the polished PR campaigns lies something darker. Because when every transaction is digital, it's not just data that's collected, it's power that's consolidated. Every swipe, tap, and scan leaves a trace. And every trace builds a profile of you, of everything you are, everything you do, and everything you might become. This profile doesn't disappear. It grows. It adapts. It begins to predict you better than you know yourself. They know what you buy, when, where, and how often. They know if you're struggling financially, if you're supporting causes they don't like, if you're frequenting places they'd rather you didn't. And once all your money is traceable, guess what? It's also controllable. That's the part they don't advertise. Cash gives you anonymity. Cash gives you choice. Cash gives you freedom. And they hate that. Because freedom is unpredictable. And power systems loathe unpredictability. With unpredictability comes risk. And their business model depends on eliminating risk, one freedom at a time. Control doesn't have to look like force anymore. It looks like smooth interfaces, colorful apps, and smiling service agents. Step by step, the noose tightens. Banks start closing branches under the guise of cost saving. Stores put up signs, card only. Governments promote digital wallets and CBDCs, Central Bank Digital Currencies, as the future. Some nations are already testing them. Others are rolling them out. And the catch? CBDCs aren't just digital versions of money. They're programmable. That means whoever controls them can set the rules. When you can spend, where you can spend, what you can spend on, and even if you can spend at all. And unlike cash, there's no mattress to stash them under, no drawer to hide them in, no way to access them without a screen and a network and someone else's permission. Imagine living in a world where your paycheck is automatically monitored, where you try to buy something and the system says, access denied, because your social credit score dropped, or you made a post someone didn't like, or you didn't follow a rule, a mandate, a trend, or perhaps you simply hesitated to comply. It sounds dystopian. It is dystopian. But it's not fiction. It's already happening in parts of the world, and the infrastructure for global adoption is almost complete. Fiber by fiber, wire by wire, database by database, it's being built around you. You won't see fences or guards. You'll see apps and updates, and you'll tap I agree without reading, again and again. In Sweden, more than 95% of transactions are digital. In China, cash is practically extinct in urban areas. In India, overnight demonetization shocked the public into digital compliance. And what happens when cash disappears? Surveillance becomes total. Control becomes absolute. There is no opt-out button, no privacy sanctuary. Everything is visible. Everything is recordable. Everything is programmable. And when dissent becomes data, freedom becomes a threat. When resistance becomes a pattern in the system pushes back. It flags, it freezes, it denies. And worst of all, it does so automatically. This isn't about resisting technology. It's about resisting control masquerading as convenience. When you can't buy food without approval, when your digital wallet can be frozen with a click, when your every financial move is stored and scored, you are no longer free. You're compliant, you're managed, you're owned. And as the margin of control grows thinner, the illusion of autonomy grows thicker. You think you're in charge, but every choice you make is from a menu they curated. And behind that menu is a machine that watches, calculates, judges. And let's talk about the real danger here. Because it's not just the government watching. Corporations are just as eager, maybe more. Tech giants want your transaction data to feed their algorithms, tailor their ads, shape your behavior. Banks want to lock you into their systems, where fees are automatic and options are minimal. And when these two forces, corporate and governmental, merge their interests, that's when freedom dies. That's when society becomes a spreadsheet, where human lives are rows and behaviors are formulas. Optimized, not liberated. In a cashless world, you don't hold your money, you access it through permission, and permissions can be revoked. Think about that the next time someone says, "It's just easier with a card." Sure, it is, until it isn't, until your account is frozen, until your spending is capped, until your lifestyle choices are flagged, until your purchases require justification. The road to digital currency isn't just paved with innovation. It's slick with manipulation. It's lined with surveillance cameras and red flags. And at the end of the road isn't prosperity, it's obedience. The irony? People are begging for it. They download every new payment app. They celebrate digital ID integration. They volunteer their biometric data for security. They share their spending habits on social media for likes. Like frogs in boiling water, we adapt to each new change, each new limit, each new lock, until one day there's no going back. And that's exactly the plan. Gradual compliance, passive submission, celebration of the very tools that will become your leash. Think it can't happen where you live? Look again. What percentage of your payments are already digital? How many businesses no longer accept cash? How often have you been nudged, ever so gently, toward a convenient digital solution? It's not a leap, it's a drift, a silent, almost invisible migration toward a system of total control. The chains are velvet, the cage is seamless, and the keys? They're in your own hands. Every time you choose convenience over independence, another lock clicks shut. And if you think, "I have nothing to hide," consider this. What you consider harmless today might be criminalized tomorrow. Political donations, book purchases, food choices, medical treatments, beliefs, parenting styles. In a programmable money system, dissent is expensive or impossible, and silence becomes the cheapest currency of all. But even silence has a cost: your identity, your integrity, your ability to act without fear. The ultimate goal? A population that's predictable, trackable, and pliant. With every financial move exposed, every behavior tied to your access to resources, and every dissent punished silently, not with handcuffs, but with deactivation. They won't knock on your door. They'll just turn you off. No mess, no protest, no witnesses, no resistance. You'll be alive, but not living, existing, but not free. But here's the truth they don't want you to hear. Cash is power, not because of what it buys, but because of what it protects. It protects the right to choose, to remain anonymous, to disagree, to exist without oversight, to speak without fear, to live without strings. And every time you use it, you resist a future where freedom is conditional, where individuality is a liability, where expression is priced and privacy is taxed. So the next time you hear that cash is outdated, remember, it's not about the paper, it's about the principle. They're not killing cash because it's inconvenient. They're killing cash because it's uncontrollable. And what they fear most is a population that can't be controlled. A society that thinks, that remembers, that values privacy over perks, and humanity over algorithms. A people that remembers how to say no, even when everything says yes. Wake up. Before the only currency left is obedience. Before freedom becomes a forgotten language. Before cashless becomes voiceless. Before your fingerprint becomes your leash, and your silence becomes your signature.